Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another presentation of Bryan College men's basketball tonight. It's going to be your Bryan College Lions versus the Truett-McConnell Bears. This is all the ingredients for a good matchup here tonight. Alongside myself, of course, Grayson Whaley with you. Alongside me is Drew Rogers, a new face in the booth tonight, kind of getting his feet wet in this whole broadcasting thing. Drew, this should be a good one.
Yes, it should be. We got two teams that desperately need wins here tonight to stay on pace in the conference. Absolutely,
we do. And we're going to go ahead and quickly break down our key players for both teams. First for Bryan.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious if you watch the Lions, starting with Jamari Bostic. He's come on in the second semester as a transfer, and he's been great. 18 a game, double-double, 34% from three. Gives a real two-way threat. Ian Johnson has been great all year, along with Noah Molaski. Both of them are knockdown three-point shooters while not having the greatest percentages. I mean, they keep defenses honest for sure.
Absolutely. What's it going to take for the Lions to come out of their home gymnasium victorious, Drew?
Man, you hear Coach Rakowski talks about the championship-level identity defense, and that's exactly what the Lions have to bring tonight. I mean, all season this team has been defying the odds and beating teams with maybe more physical players. And I think, they won the first one that way, and they can win this one that way.
Absolutely. It's senior night here in Dayton, Tennessee. Of course, you probably saw the broadcast of that on maybe the women's link. But here we are, men's basketball action. Let's go ahead and give the key players for Truett-McConnell real quickly, Drew.
Yeah, we got E.J. Smith, 10 a game, Brent Kelly, 11 a game, 40% from the three might have had, and Raul Arias Ortega with 11, and one more would probably be, he doesn't jump out of the stat sheet, but that'd be a Naka Frankie.
Absolutely, the 6'8" forward from Cameroon. We have about 30 seconds before we go to PA announcements along with lineups, so stay tuned for that. This should be a good one. What's it going to take for Truett-McConnell to come out of this one victorious, Drew?
Man, this is a scrappy bunch, always. They always play with the highest level of energy, and they need this win to kind of get back to where they want to be going into conference tournament time. They shut down the Lions' scores and play the defense they can. They got a real shot.
This game is huge. We're going to go to our PA announcements done by yours truly, so stay tuned for that. We'll be back for tip-off. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Bryan College welcomes all players, officials, and spectators to Summers Gymnasium for tonight's men's basketball contest between Truett-McConnell University and your Bryan College Lions. As a member of the NAIA and the Appalachian Athletic Conference, we're committed to the true spirit of competition, embracing 5 core values: respect, integrity, responsibility, servant leadership, and sportsmanship. We ask that each of you abide by these values to help create a positive and competitive environment. Please enjoy tonight's contest. Now, please rise for a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for tonight. We thank you for your grace, your mercy, your blessings. Lord, we thank you most of all for your Son, Jesus, who died on the cross to give us forgiveness of our sins. Lord, we thank you for the game of basketball. I pray for protection. I pray that these men can glorify you in all that they do. In Jesus' name, amen. And now for our starting lineups. First, for Truett. Starting at guard from Atlanta, Georgia, number 2, E.J. Smith. Starting at guard from Gainesville, Georgia, number 4, Brent Kelly. Starting at forward from Miami, Florida, number 10, C.J. Brown. Starting at guard from the Dominican Republic, number 13, Raul Arias Ortega. Starting at forward from Cameroon, number 15, Naka Frankie. And now get on your feet and put your hands together for your starting Bryan College Lions. Starting at guard from Chattanooga, Tennessee, number 1, Ian Johnson. Starting at guard from Nashville, Tennessee, number 2, Gene Holmes. Starting at guard from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, number 5, Tyler Hardman. Starting at forward from Ripley, Tennessee, number 14, Jamari Bostic. And starting at forward from Lebanon, Tennessee, number 22, Noah Molaski. There we have it, Drew. Of course, we get the PA announcements, we get the lineups out of the way. Now we're here for the risky business. We got 40 minutes to determine a winner here in Dayton, Tennessee, in Summers Gymnasium. Grayson Whaley alongside Drew Rogers, bringing you tonight's broadcast and presentation of Bryan College basketball on senior night here in Dayton, Tennessee. Personally, Drew, I cannot wait to see my man, my best friend, Tyler Erdman play basketball
Yeah, that's
tonight.
my guy, and I think a lot of people feel the same way as you. You know, on senior night, a program player has been here 4 years, done it the right way. If he hits a shot early, this place will explode.
Absolutely. He's got to have the nerves kind of jittering around right now, I can imagine.
Yeah. He scored a bucket at KCU before this game in a blowout, and I think, you know, maybe that gets him prepped a little bit.
Yeah, get the confidence rolling just a little bit. Here we have it, 40 minutes to determine a victor in Summers Gymnasium. Lions get the tip off. Gene Holmes bringing it up the floor. It's going to be an energetic one here in Dayton. Erdman with the basketball. Tries to get it to Bostic. He does. Now Erdman working to the left. Hands it off to Mulaski. Mulaski pulls up from deep. The three ball, no good. Rebound, Kelly. Kelly going to be manning the offense here for Truett-McConnell, the 5'11 guard from Gainesville, Georgia. Gets it to Frankie. Frankie hands it off to Ortega. Ortega gets it back now to Kelly. Kelly gets it into the big man, Erd guarding. Erd goes straight up. Good defense there from Erdman. Gene Holmes up the floor. Working quickly, gets it to Bostic. Bostic pulls up for three, no good. Rebound, Erd. Erd goes up. Good! My goodness, Tyler Erdman.
Man.
And this gym's going bonkers early on.
Yeah. That's what you love to see, man, on senior night. And the student section let him know about it.
What a great offensive board from Tyler Erdman, getting his hands dirty early on.
That was excellent.
We might have been sorry if we blew out your eardrums. We've been waiting a long time to see Tyler Erdman play on this floor.
I told him I'd give him a good call up here if he got the chance, and hopefully I didn't disappoint.
Smith moving, gets it down low. The big man trying to work on Johnson. He goes up for one, finishes through contact. That's C.J. Brown, the forward from Miami, Florida.
I know we didn't talk a lot about him pregame and the keys to victory, but he's vastly important to their success as well.
Bostic for three, no good. Rebound, Johnson, but he's going to step on the baseline, out of bounds. Two to two. Early on, 18:27 left in the first half. If you're tuning into this presentation just now, welcome to Bryan College. Presented here in Summers Gymnasium in Dayton, Tennessee. Grayson Whaley alongside Drew Rogers bringing you tonight's broadcast. Kelly up the court for Truett. Moving to the left side near the NAI logo. Gets it to Brown. Brown over to Smith, swinging it around the perimeter. Ortega moving to the left, nearly stolen away from Holmes. Tip to the backcourt, goes up for two, slammed home with a finished dunk from Anaka Frankie. Holmes up the court for the Lions. Holmes working on Kelly, gets it out to Johnson. Spreading the floor are the Lions. Johnson driving, gets it to Mulaski. Mulaski for three, no good.
That's
back
a good
rim.
Look, though. If you're the Lions, you got to continue to take those open ones.
Gets it out to E.J. Smith. Smith for three, and he connects. They take the quick lead, 7-2. Mulaski far side, get it to Erdman down here at the top. Erdman setting a screen for Johnson. Johnson driving, can't get any space. Erdman now. The fadeaway from Erd. Off the base, off the backboard, good!
He's got all four.
Tyler Erdman coming to impress here tonight. I didn't expect anything less.
I mean, we saw the girls' seniors show out in their outing, and Tyler Erdman looked to build upon that performance.
Moving to the left is Ortega. Ortega for the long two, no good. Gene Holmes driving with the right hand. No good, too strong. Going the other way are the Bears. Stopping, gets it to Smith. Smith steps in, takes the 12-foot circus shot. Finished there by C.J. Brown. Erdman looks a bit gassed going up the floor right now.
Yeah,
he hasn't run the floor in a while.
He doesn't normally get in, and I think it's showing a little bit right now, but he's still been effective in his minutes out there.
Absolutely.
Great move.
Good move, yeah, as you said, from Gene Holmes. Scores at the bucket, 9-6 game.
And again, I know I keep going to this. Gene wasn't in the key players, but he's hugely important, runs the offense, gets buckets where he can. He's a great point guard.
Kelly driving now. Looks like a tie up there, and they're going to call a jump ball.
That's one of the things that Gene offers. Great activity on the defensive end.
Senior Tyler Erdman checked out of the game, but not before he gets 4 out of the 6 points. Morrow into the game for Tyler Erdman. Mulaski up the court after the stolen ball. Moving to the left, slips on the floor.
Oh.
Wow, Ian Johnson somehow miraculously ends up with the basketball and finishes.
Maybe not an assist in the stat sheet, but...
Swinging it wide. E.J. Smith with the basketball, guarded by Ian Johnson. They're trying to get it down low to Frankie. They throw it too long out of bounds. Good defense there by Boston. Kind of had him tied up near the high post. 9-8 ball game. Truett-McConnell on top. 15-15 remaining in the first half. Gets it down low to Bostic. Bostic to Mulaski. Mulaski thinks about stepping back for the J, thinks better of it. Now gets it to Johnson.
Great
Johnson
move.
with the right hand, good. A lot of open space there off the screen.
Yeah. And that was created all by Ian Johnson for giving Noah the great screen, making the other guy help over, and then he created the driving lane as well.
Now driving is Ortega. A lot of contact. He finishes through it. And Truett-McConnell takes the lead once again, 11-10. Bostic with the basketball. Bostic working on Frankie. He steps in the left hand. Off the backboard, no good. Stolen by Ian Johnson. Johnson up the court. The 2-on-1 fast break. Tipped out of bounds. Remains Bryan basketball. Checked into the game for Truett-McConnell is Corey Seats, the junior from Cumming, Georgia. Morrow inbounding the basketball. Long pass back into the backcourt to Mulaski. Mulaski working on Kelly. Morrow now top of the key. Gets it to Johnson. Morrow setting the screen. Johnson steps back. The long 2-ball, no good. Up the court is E.J. Smith. Smith gets it down low to the big man. Pops it back out. The 3-ball, no good. Rebound. Tipped around, and I think it's going to stay in the possession of Truett-McConnell.
That's a bang-bang play, 50-50. Could go either way, but from up here, it did look like that was off the Truett-McConnell Bears.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, Drew. Thought he might have tipped it there at the last second. Inbounding it to Smith, 18 on the shot clock, 1-point game. The Bears have Truett-McConnell leading. Caleb Grimes checked into the game. Good pass, good find there. Corey Seats with the finish. Caleb Grimes manning the offense, checked in for Gene Holmes. Trey Morrow hands it off to Ian Johnson. Kind of motioning through this offense. Tries to get it down low to Trey Morrow, probably not the best decision. Turns it over.
Good transition, dude.
The Bears with a 3-point lead early on in this game. You know, I was thinking that, Drew, that these NAI players that aren't being televised outside of our YouTube broadcast that you're tuning into right now if you're a listener. They have to have a little bit better stamina and conditioning than those guys that are playing big time, because they get those 4-minute TV timeouts. And
unfortunately for them, the Bryan College YouTube channel doesn't allow for TV timeouts.
They should start.
I think they'd be pretty happy with that. But yeah, going. I mean, especially if you're a starter out here, going 30 minutes plus without the TV timeouts is a haul for sure.
Yeah, it'll gas you out as the Bears and the Lions trade a pair of threes. Still a 3-point game. Seats and Bostic both hit a 3 for their respective teams. Micah McAllister in the game as well for the Bears. Backdoor cut. What a pass there from Corey Seats. Finds C.J. Brown with the finish.
I believe McAllister is a transfer. I do not believe he played for them first semester. I think he's going to be out of Hillsborough Community College.
Bostic sets the screen for Johnson. Johnson gets it to Bostic. Bostic the fadeaway, no good, too strong. 5-point game. If the Lions are going to win this one, Drew, they're going to have to get Jamari Bostic going.
Yeah, he's knocked down a 3 early. He's missed some shots. I think that last fadeaway was a really good shot for him. Maybe not for other players, but he knocks those down consistently.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The transition offense, the pass from Bostic, the reverse lay from Ian Johnson.
Man, that was pretty.
Up the court, Brent Kelly, the 5'11 guard junior from Athens, Georgia. Gets it now to Ortega. Ortega back to Kelly. Kelly in the corner to Seat.
Good defense.
Grimes steals the basketball. The one-on-one fast break. Good. Caleb Grimes with the steal and finish.
I mean, you talk about a 1-2 punch. That if you got Gene Holmes as your lead guard and then you go to the bench and you grab Caleb Grimes, there's not many people in this conference that can match that.
No, you're not really losing much, are you?
Nope. Good defense.
Good defense there from Bostic. Steals the basketball. Going the other way. Johnson tries to force the pass to Bostic, stolen away. Ortega to Kelly. Kelly driving, the spin move, the fadeaway jumper, no good. Rebound Bostic. 1-point basketball game, just under 11 minutes left in the first. Grimes, good pass there to Morrow. Grimes with the AAC logo.
Great move.
Takes the screen from Bostic. Loses a possession. Morrow the 3 ball, no good. That's someone early on in the season was really putting the numbers up offensively. Someone who's kind of turned into a game manager. That's Trey Morrow.
Yeah. With the addition of Jamari Bostic, there's less shots to go around. Not saying there's anything wrong with it. I think Trey's done a great job kind of slipping into that rebounding and getting buckets where he can roll. I think he's done a really nice job. Maybe not something that all players would accept, but something he's done a really good job at.
Absolutely. Bostic with another rebound. He has it now working on Seats. Now Johnson top of the key. Grimes at the AAC logo. Bostic the 3 ball right in Seats' face, no good. I'd like to see Bostic. He works well at being a post that kind of works out of the perimeter. I think he's a guard truly at heart. I'd like to see him kind of work Seats down low.
Yeah. Speaking of somebody that knows him, he was a 2 at his former college, and I think you're right. I would like to see him at least test him once or twice.
For sure. I think he could probably get by him, but a foul on the floor there committed by Trey Morrow sends Corey Seats to the line. No, sorry, sends Ortega to the line. The first of 2 from Ortega is good. Marcus Allen, Dalen Gales checked into the game for the Lions.
Bryan's bench play this year has been hugely important to their success. If you get quality minutes out of your bench guys like the Lions have gotten from all sorts of cast of characters, I think you're in business.
Yeah, absolutely. And heck, you were one of those bench guys early on in the year, Drew, and you're coming on playing some minutes.
Yeah, I really enjoyed my time, and obviously did what I could, and I think these guys here have picked up the slack.
Absolutely. Dalen Gales, the 3 ball, no good. seems a bit, Drew, that they're settling for some
Yeah.
long three balls. I'd like to see them kind of work their offensive sets, trying to get the ball moving down low.
We've seen here early. We've seen a few maybe long contested threes that you don't want to take. Kind of one of those shots that if it goes in, you love it. If it doesn't, you hate it.
Right.
So.
Akil Covington checked into the game for the Bears. Errant shot there from Frankie, no good. A fight for the basketball on the ground. Somehow it squeaks back to the top. Ortega fighting through contact. The Euro step at the finish.
That's great body control by Ortega. I mean, he got bumped 3 different times on that drive to the basket, and he was still able to put it in.
Gene Holmes going to check back in for Caleb Grimes.
I think to your point, Coach Rakowski is telling the players on the floor right now to kind of move it around, make sure we're running our stuff.
Ortega finishes the three-point play, and checking in for him is E.J. Smith. Also on the floor is Micah McAllister. Kafumba Toure is also on the floor for Truett-McConnell, guarding Mulaski. Stolen away from McAllister. Bears taking it the other way. McAllister with the basketball.
And I think Mulaski must be seeing something there over the top. He's tried that pass a numerous amount of times. I think there's been maybe a turnover and some fumbles, but he's got to be seeing something.
Frankie working through contact there, finishes over Marcus Allen. Dalen Gales draws the blocking foul. Micah McAllister, the perpetrator.
And Dalen Gales is one of those bench guys I mentioned earlier. He's like I called one of the players in the last game. He is a bona fide bucket getter, and he comes on and does great work.
Absolutely, good inbound play there. Up the court is Akil Covington, gets it to McAllister, now to Toure. Toure back to Covington. A 5-point basketball game, still 7:38 left in the first half. Smith to McAllister. McAllister driving. Trying to work now on the baseline. Good find to Smith. A lot of contact. At least this time he doesn't finish at the bucket. Going to make him earn it at the free throw line.
Pretty good defense by the Lions there. Maybe just a little breakdown on the scramble. Not really any one person to blame there.
No, it's hard when you're going for a steal and the defense kind of breaks down like that, Drew, to recover. The first one from E.J. Smith is up and is no good. Rattles out. Johnson back into the game for the Lions. I'll tell you, this crowd is ready to see Tyler Erdman to get back in the game.
I think we are as well. I mean, I've been a member of the crowd, and I love it whenever it goes in at the end of the game.
Absolutely. 1 for 2 at the line is E.J. Smith. Extends the lead to 6. I don't really think he's a liability either. I mean, there's some guys off the bench you really got to question without seeing out there, but I've been around Erd for 4 years. He's one of my best friends, and he is a good basketball player.
Yeah.
You can call a charge there on the floor. Akil Covington takes it there. Good defensive play from him.
Yeah, it was.
Stepped right outside the restricted area and takes the fall.
Yeah, and I think if we do get to see Tyler Erdman, he'll definitely pick up where he left off in his opening minutes.
You get Tyler Erdman within that 18-foot range, golly.
He's a hard man to stop.
No kidding. It's the unappreciated part of the game these days, is that mid-range. Micah McAllister, the three ball short. Maybe had too much time to think about it. Up the court is Allen. Allen going to drive. A blocking foul going to be called. And Allen will receive 2 free throws for the foul.
That was a pretty good move to avoid the charge. They were trying to do the same thing that they just did on Gales on Allen, and he was able to step out of the way of it.
Allen connects on the first of 2 free throws. Bostic back into the game, checking in for Dalen Gales.
This is probably one of the largest lineups we'll see with Bostic, Allen, and Morrow all on the floor checking in at over 6'4".
2 for 2 at the line as Marcus Allen cuts the lead to 4. First matchup for the Lions. They took the victory at Truett-McConnell. I believe it was 80-71, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that sounds around it. It was a good team win. We went down there. A little bit of miscommunication there, but we went down to Truett and took care of business, and I know we're both hoping that we can see the Lions do the same here.
Absolutely, and it's much harder in college basketball to win on the road, but y'all did that. Of course, I refer to y'all because you were there with them.
Yeah.
At that point in the
season.
Yeah,
I think I was in that one. It was I was guard number 15, and I know the viewers can't see me, but they might be a little bit surprised by that.
Yeah, he's a hard man to guard.
Yeah.
Standing in at 6'8". Micah McAllister for 3. Speaking of the man, Frankie with the rebound. Johnson tries to get the steal. A lot of tie up there to not call a jump ball. And Covington finishes with a 15-foot floater.
That was a great hustle play by Covington. He got in the lane and put it right up over Bostic. That was a great all-around play from him.
Allen goes to the rim and finishes. Good play on his side as well. 6-point game, just under 6 minutes left. Yeah, 81-70 now. That is confirmed on December 3rd down in Cleveland, Georgia at Truett-McConnell. The Lions took that one. Hoping to go 2 for 2 or 2-0 in the series.
I believe the Lions have not gotten both wins at Truett-McConnell since I've been here for the 3 years. So this would be a big program win as well as big for the season.
Well, something that I don't think we've mentioned yet is a long 3-ball taken there from Smith, no good, rebound Bostic. Something we haven't mentioned yet is that if the Lions win this one and their next one, good finish there from Holmes. If they win this one and their next one, and Tennessee Wesleyan drops their next 2, which they have a tough 2 against Point and Reinhardt, then the Lions find themselves with the 2nd seed in the AAC.
Yeah, and I think Coach Rakowski's mentioned it to us multiple times this season. The 2nd-place team in our league the last 3 years has received the at-large bid to the national tournament. So the Lions are playing for real stakes here.
Yeah, absolutely. Driving is McAllister. A lot of contact, but they're going to call a charge.
Man, Gene Holmes, really crafty, really sneaky, getting in there and taking the charge among the trees.
4-point game, just under 5 minutes. Kelly back into the game. Mulaski also back into the game. Looks like Cooper Rubio into the game for Truett-McConnell. Of course, the starter C.J. Brown checked back into the game after he gets a little bit of a rest.
And they went to Brown a lot early in the post, so we'll see if that continues as he checks back in here.
Well, he seems to work well, even though he's only standing at about 6'4". He seems to be really strong down there.
He seems to have the body type for it. He's kind of like Bostic. I don't know if he has the outside prowess, but he seems to have the body to do it.
Just a bit long on the shot there from Johnson. Kelly with the basketball going the other way. Long 3-ball. He's going to show whether he has outside presence or not. Going the other way now is Mulaski. Now to Johnson. Johnson driving, loses a handle on it, and turns the ball over. All the way to the bucket. No good. Tries to get tipped in from Torrey. No good as well. Holmes goes up, tipped out of bounds.
This is a quicker paced game for the Lions. We see a lot of the times they like the half court, prefer the half court more, but we are seeing a lot of transition action tonight.
What do you think the purpose is of that, Drew?
I think it's just in the flow of the game, man. I don't know if there's been something said. Great play.
Flips the inbound play there, and Caleb Grimes was fouled there as he goes up. Doesn't finish, but he has 2 at the free throw line.
But like I was saying, I don't know if I think it's just the flow of the game. They're getting a lot of these quick rebounds, and they're just taking off and going.
Yeah, I agree. Grimes, the first one, rolls in good. Second one for Grimes, up and good as well. Those are big free throws, Drew.
Agreed. You got to get the free ones, and that closes the deficit to just 2.
Under 4 minutes, 2-point game, as Drew mentioned. Kelly with the basketball. Rubio, the 3-ball, rattles out, no good. A fight for the basketball. The layup, good. What a move there from E.J. Smith. Doubles the lead now to 4. 3.5 left in the first.
Great penetration.
Bostic, no good. Going to be out of bounds off the hands of Bostic. Back to Truett-McConnell, man. They are really presenting a tough defense for the Lions.
They always do, man. They're like I said pregame, they're a scrappy bunch, and that their coach is I have a lot of respect for him. He's the one that really anchors that.
It'll be interesting when we look at halftime at what our shooting percentages are, because they have really done a good job keeping our offense at bay. Another score down low from C.J. Brown.
As you mentioned that, I don't think theirs is going to be much higher.
Long 3-ball from Bostic. Again, one of those shots that just seems a bit unwarranted. Kelly for 3, and he drills it. The first time out of the game is going to be taken from Coach Don Rakoski. Truett-McConnell with a 9-point lead. 2:47 left in the first. We'll be back. Stay tuned. We're back, 9-point basketball game here in Summers Gymnasium. 2:47 left in the first half. Truett-McConnell up early. If you're a Bryan College basketball fan, check out the BryanLions.com website today. You can find all things Bryan College athletics, all sports, all schedules, all rosters, stats, anything you'd like. Visit the Bryan Lions website today.
Looks like Truett's coach used the timeout to put in a press.
I like that move. Finally crossing the equator. Grimes with the basketball, manning the offense out of the timeout. Morrow with it, hands it off to Johnson, now to Mulaski.
Good pass.
Good backdoor cut there. It really just kind of slipped the defender.
And Mulaski's looked for that maybe 3 or 4 times. That's the first time I think it's connected.
I almost wonder if they've seen something on film to attack that.
I think you're right on with that.
They get it to Smith. Smith for 3. Looks good, but it just falls short. Grimes with the basketball. Now Bostic has it. Guarded by Torre. Johnson moving. Now to Morrow. Swinging it around the perimeter. 10 on the shot clock. Bostic down low. The fadeaway jumper, no good, just short. Rebound Brown. Smith with the basketball. Rubio now gets it to Brown. Brown leading scorer for Truett-McConnell with 10 points early on in this game. Rubio driving. Throws up the shot. No good. 7-point game, 36-29, just over a minute left. Long pass, just a bit too long. Morrow can't get a handle on it.
That's a good idea. Just just a little bit too far for Morrow's outstretched fingertips.
Kelly with the basketball. Of course, he's been manning the offense for Truett-McConnell all night. He's done a good job of it so far. Get it down low to Torre, guarded by Bostic. Rubio steps into the shot and drills the 3-ball.
He's been looking to put his name on this game for about 3 possessions now, and he finally gets one to go down. Wow.
A lot of contact there. They're going to call the foul. That's going to be Truett-McConnell's 5th team foul. Really been a pretty clean basketball game so far, Drew.
Yeah, we've only got 9 fouls, and I mean that's pretty uncommon these days, especially for 2 teams as physical as Bryan and Truett.
10-point game. Truett coming out to play. 40 seconds on the game clock, 15 on the shot clock. Johnson driving, working on Rubio, and finishes the reverse layup good.
I think Rubio might need to hit the weight room because Ian just walked him down from the 3-point line all the way down to under the bucket.
Shot clock is off. 20 seconds left on the game clock left in the first half. Obviously playing for the last shot here. Rubio with the basketball, but they're going to send it the other way. An offensive foul there on Kathunba Torre, the forward from Miami, Florida.
And whether it was one or not, Molasti's selling of the contact definitely provided at least the opportunity for the official to make the call.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't get the call if they don't see it, right?
That's true. Looks like they had 6 people on the floor. That's one way to win a basketball game.
6.6 on the clock. Lions have to get up the floor. Grimes moving quickly. The circus shot, no good. With that, that'll be the end of the first half. Lions trailing 39-31. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back to break down first half stats. Stay tuned for that. Welcome back here, Grayson Whaley alongside. Turned into my good friend up here, Drew Rogers. He's getting his feet wet and he's jumping full board into the pool of broadcasting. It's been a good one here early on in Summers Gymnasium. This matchup between Bryan College and Truett-McConnell. It's been a tough one. It's an 8-point game, Drew. 39-31. Truett-McConnell leading. What's been the difference so far, do you think?
Man, I look on here and I see Truett's got two more offensive rebounds than Bryan, and I think the difference is that Truett is converting those offensive rebounds nearly every single time. So I mean that's a difference, and they're also shooting a bit higher percentage.
Yeah. No, that's to your point of the second chance points first. Truett-McConnell down here on the stat sheet, 11 second chance points compared to, I guess, I don't even know if Bryan has any.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think Bryan has any second chance points.
Nope.
Yeah, that definitely plays. Maybe 4. I think they have 4.
4. Okay.
Because it's just a little confusing looking at it. So they have 4 second chance points compared to Truett's 11. That's 7 points. That's almost a game, right?
Yeah, that's a big thing, and that's certainly something that Coach Rakoski will have talked about in the locker room about cutting those down. And I really don't think Bryan's doing a horrible job on the glass, but Truett is coming up with some balls that you're like, I mean, how did they get those?
Yeah.
So.
Of course, one of our guys that we rely on heavily, Jamari Bostic, especially on the boards, he's doing his job. He's got 7 boards, but he struggled a bit from the field. He's 1 for 9 from the field. He's averaging, I think it's 18 points per game. That's good enough for 4th in the AAC in points per game if he had enough attempts that were eligible, because he's come in halfway through the year. But to your point, your second point was field goal percentage. And just let me highlight one thing, Drew. We are, first, Truett-McConnell's 33.3% from 3. That's solid.
Yeah.
It's nothing. You're not blowing the.
Feasible.
Yeah, it'll do the job. Bryan's shooting percentage, on the other hand, from beyond the arc, 1 for 10. 10%. That will not win you many games.
No, like you talked about Bostic, he's 1 for 5 from the 3-point line. We rely heavily on him, and I mean even some of our other guys that we rely on from the 3-point line, Johnson and Molaski. No 3-pointers between them. So you got to think that maybe that was a point of emphasis in the locker room as well.
Absolutely, and perhaps Coach Rakoski will kind of run some sets to try to get that open 3 ball.
Yeah.
Because that's something, especially moving into the second half of the game, you want to get working.
Yeah.
And you want to get, especially at your home gym, because this is the place where it's easiest to shoot the basketball.
Yeah, I mean, and you hit a 3-pointer these days, people lose their minds.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to see that, and maybe we, if we go to it and it still isn't working, then we're like, we put it on the ground, we get it into the paint.
Yeah, for sure. I would like to see a little bit better shot selection, and I'm sure Coach Rakoski is preaching the same thing in the locker room. And I know Coach Rakoski is religious in running through the offensive set. I mean, he'll let his players play. I mean, that's obvious in some of the fast break opportunities. But he really likes to see those guys run through their set.
Yeah.
And that's something I think we're going to have to do a good job of here in the second half.
Yeah, I think there's looks available against this team. They like to trap the screens. They like to show super hard hedge, and I think there's definitely looks if you swing the ball quick enough.
Absolutely. It's, as we mentioned, 8-point game. Truett's leading. Who's made the difference for Truett? How are they in this position, Drew?
I look at C.J. Brown, a guy that we didn't even have in our key players of the game, and I mean, he's got 10 points already. They've looked for him in the post, and he's converted 5 of 7 of his opportunities. I mean, if I'm their coach, I'm pretty ecstatic. I haven't checked the numbers personally, but I'm pretty sure he's not even averaging 10 a game this year.
Yeah, I don't know that he is either, but he's averaging 10 this game.
Yeah.
He's got 10 in the first half.
Yeah, and I look down the board like Raul Arias Ortega. He's a guy. I don't think he was there first semester. If he was, that's my mistake. But he's looked really huge with getting some penetration and kind of opening up Bryan's defense.
Yeah, Ortega averaging 11 points a game, 2.8 rebounds a game as well. He's definitely on pace for that. Someone else we highlighted was E.J. Smith and Brent Kelly. Brent Kelly is someone that I think has really made a difference in this game.
Yeah.
He's not shooting very good. He's only 1 for 5 from the field with 3 points on a made 3-pointer. He's got 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals.
And he looks to be about 5'10".
Yeah.
7 rebounds. If you get that from your guard position, I think you're feeling pretty good about that.
Well, 7 rebounds for someone who's manning the offense, that's as effective as 10 points.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there, man. I think this whole Truett team has the same mentality, and that's crash the offensive glass.
And they've done a good job, as you mentioned first thing on our halftime show here. Second chance points, they've got 11 of them. That's been really the difference in the game, along with Bryan's poor shooting performance here. We got a minute before we get going in the second half. There's your halftime breakdown. We're going to take about a 60-second break. We'll be back for the second and final half of action. We're back here, and the Bryan Lions are going to start off with the basketball as we wait for Truett-McConnell's 5. Holmes with the basketball, 8-point deficit here as we start the second half. Mulaski in the corner. Oh, Mulaski thought he was going to break.
Play.
Ian Johnson saves it, and Ian Johnson scores. What a play there.
That's just one of those that if you're Truett's coach, you tip your hat. Ian came up with a great individual play there.
Ortega with the basketball, gets it over to Kelly. Kelly to Smith. Smith with the 3-ball, good. Trades the 2-pointer for the 3-pointer. They'll take that all day. 9-point game. Johnson gets it to Bostic. Bostic in the corner. Now Holmes with the ball. Holmes driving hard. Goes to the bucket, can't finish. On the other end to Smith. Smith finishing for 2. 11-point game. Truett didn't come out of the halftime flat at all, did they, Drew?
No, they did not. They seem to have amped up the defensive pressure that we saw in the first half.
Morrow hands it off. No, takes the handoff, gets it to Bostic. To Mulaski. Mulaski gets it to Morrow. Morrow in the corner too long, no good.
You got to wonder if Trey Morrow's recent dip in attempts has kind of shook his confidence a little bit here.
Yeah, I think that's probably good analysis, Drew. They're not shooting the ball in game as much. It has to.
Yeah, man.
C.J. Brown taking Morrow to the bucket and finishing.
We highlighted him. We highlighted him in the halftime show, man. He has been a force. He's using his body. He's getting to the rim.
Yeah, he really is. It's a 13-point game here. Johnson driving, another turnover from Johnson. He loses the handle on his dribble. Smith, the 3-ball, no good, just short. Holmes gets the board, pushing the tempo. Stops the 15-foot jumper from the free throw line, good. Timeout, Coach Rakowski. With that, we'll take a short timeout as well. Stay tuned. We're back. Just under 18 minutes remain in this contest. Coach Rakoski takes the timeout. It's an 11-point game. The Lions have to keep this one from getting out of hand. Truett-McConnell came to play, Drew.
They did, and I think the timeout there is probably strategy by Coach Rakoski to set something up for a future possession.
Kelly up the court, catching the screen. Drive to the right, stops. Gets to Smith around the perimeter. Ortega with the basketball near the AAC logo. Back to Kelly. 12 on the shot clock.
Good defense.
Trying to put Bostic in the bucket. What a find there. What a find there from Frankie.
That's kind of one of those moments as a coach. No, yes. He dribbled it around almost off his foot, and he ended up finding Smith for the score.
Bostic fires a three ball. He hits. Maybe all he needs to get going here. Kelly long pass up. Frankie no good.
That's a great rebounding effort by Trey Morrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
It took all of him to get over Frankie there.
High off the glass from Holmes. Finishes at the bucket.
Gene Holmes quietly having a great game. He's at 8 points now.
8-point differential. 48-40. Truett leading. A moving screen called on C.J. Brown. Sends the basketball the other way. Good opportunity for Bryan to go on a bit of a run here.
I said 8. I meant 10 with Gene. That's my mistake.
Gene's one of those silent scorers,
yeah,
isn't he?
Of course. I mean, if you had asked me how many points he had, I probably wouldn't have said 10.
I was thinking maybe 4.
Yeah.
He's tied for leading the Lions in scoring right now. Bostic thinks about the three, gets it to Mulaski. Mulaski driving. Johnson, the three ball, good. There they are, the Lions showing up now.
Truett came at them, they come right back at them with a run of their own.
Ortega gets it out to Smith, Smith to Brown.
Great defense here.
Brown driving. And a foul's going to be called. Well, if they're going to call it on Bostic or Mulaski. Call that foul on Mulaski there.
I thought he was on the ground.
He just came up from the ground, but I thought he got a lot of ball there.
Yeah.
I guess they called it on the shot as well.
Wow.
So C.J. Brown will go to the free throw line.
That was pretty good D by Mulaski. Seems that he probably just got his foot stepped on, and that allowed him to get the look he got.
This is the first of two. The second one from Brown is up and is good. Holmes up the court for the Lions, 6-point game. Gets it to Morrow, Torre guarding. Backdoor cut from Mulaski. Good find there from Morrow, up and in for Mulaski, 4-point game.
And some might call Trey an underrated playmaker. You know, it doesn't really show up, but when he does it, you notice.
Frankie with the basketball now over to Kelly. Kelly down low to Torre. What a find from Torre. What a finish there from Frankie through contact. So Frankie will have a shot at the old-fashioned three-pointer. The big man from Cameroon. High arcing free throw up and good. A timeout's going to be called from the coach of Truett-McConnell. So with that, we'll take a short timeout as well. back from the timeout. Break just over 15 minutes remaining in this contest. Quietly a 7-point game here. 52-45, Truett-McConnell leading. And you're exactly right. Truett called that timeout. You told me in the break I think they're going to call that timeout to set up the press, and that's exactly what they did. It's like you know basketball, Drew.
I mean, I do my best. You know, maybe not the most knowledge, but hopefully I can provide a little bit of insight to the viewers at home.
Absolutely. Bostic's going to take the long three. Just a bit short, rattles out, no good. Kelly up the court for Truett. Gets it to Torre. Torre to Frankie. Blocked by Bostic.
Incredible athleticism.
Mulaski stops. Gets it to Holmes. Holmes the 12-footer. Good. Big bucket there from Gene Holmes.
Gene Holmes really the guy that's been keeping them in this. A little bit of dry spell from some of the other guys, but Gene Holmes has been huge on the offensive end.
Ortega thinks about the three and takes it. Holmes going to push the tempo. The 3-on-3 fast break. Mulaski stops, goes up for two. All around no good. Going to be off the hands of Torre, out of bounds.
A lot of contact for a no call there.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Still with the contact he about got
I
to go.
I know. I mean, I was really expecting to add one there. Corey Seats back into the game. We saw him a little bit in the first half. In the guard, Bostic. He'll give Frankie a little bit of a rest. Gene Holmes lays it on the front rim in, good. 3-point game, 14 minutes left. Bryan storming back early on here in the second half. Seats with the basketball. Tries to get the handoff. He finally does to Smith. Smith nearly travels there. Gets it to Ortega. Ortega in the corner. Driving with the right hand. Sent away again by Bostic. Up the court to Johnson. Johnson with the finger roll. Rolls in good.
And that was great defense, team defense by the Lions. That took everything that Mulaski had to kind of keep him at bay.
Smith catches the screen from Torre. Smith up. Gets it to Seats. Seats finishes. Good bucket there from him. Again, the Lions pushing the tempo. Johnson in the corner. Johnson just off the top of the goal in. That was really close to to being called out of bounds.
He shows a little smile there because I think he knows that might have been a gift from the basketball gods.
Yeah, that might have rolled on top of the backboard for just a second or two. Beats the backdoor cut. Now they're swinging it around. Punched out of bounds from Noah Mulaski. Sends that one to Jupiter. Might take a minute or two to get that ball back in play.
Get it out of the atmosphere.
Number 11, Micah McAllister checked in the game. 6'3" junior from Noonan, Georgia. Training out at Hillsborough Community College. Torre with the basketball. Mulaski playing off. Kelly now, the top. Now to McAllister. Good defense there from Holmes once again. A shot clock violation. Great defense there from Bryan. Looks like Nick Roberts is going to be checked into the game. He started the season starting.
Yep.
And went a few games without playing much or at all.
Yeah.
And he's found his way back in the rotation a bit.
Yeah, man. He's one of those guys that isn't going to blow you away with anything he does, but he's such a solid player and presence. And in the games he didn't play, I think the Lions missed that and realized that, and he's back on the floor now.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised they run through Nick Roberts at the top of the key. That's usually what they try to do.
And he's so good at that role.
Gene Holmes drives, goes up with the left, no good. Out of bounds, will stay on this side of the floor.
You're right. When Nick's in the game, you know that ball is going to go to the top of the key, and he can kind of distribute it as he sees fit.
Gonna set up their inbound play. Morrow looking for somebody. That somebody's Holmes. Holmes far side wing, gets it to Roberts. Roberts top of the key as usual. Hands it off to Mulaski. Mulaski driving with the left hand, goes up with the left hand, and is fouled on the way up. This game's knotted up, but Mulaski will have a chance to give the Lions the lead.
Mulaski maybe not gotten as many calls as he thinks he's deserved tonight, but gets one there, and hopefully he can knock these two down.
These are big free throws coming into the second half. First one's up, first one's good. The second one is up and good as well. Mulaski goes 2 for 2 at the line, gives the Lions the lead. Kelly with the ball. McAllister at the corner. Steps in, takes the 18-footer, no good. Torre gets the rebound, offensive rebound, and a finish at the bucket.
And Mulaski was begging for an over-the-back call, and I think he might have had a case.
Yeah, I think so too. Morrow takes the long 3 ball from the logo, no good. Goes out of bounds off the top of the backboard.
You know, maybe a look you probably don't want him taking as he hasn't hit a 3 yet, but he was wide open, and if you want to keep the defense honest, I think you've got to take it.
Absolutely, and he's a good shooter too, just kind of gone on a bit of a cold spell as he's fulfilled a new role since Jamari Bostic's been in town. Ortega, Torre now. Covington gets it to Ortega in the corner for 3, no good. Torre just seems to be bullying Mulaski down there on the board.
Yeah, it's definitely a mismatch, and maybe, you know, I'm not the coach. I don't pretend to know any better than any of the coaches, but maybe this is where you give Khalil Dye a look. He seems to match up well with some guys like that.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you. Morrow gets the steal, pokes it away, going the other way. Mulaski with the basketball, goes behind the back, now crosses over once again. But tipped out of bounds. It's going to be off the leg of Noah Mulaski going the other way.
That was going to be my second comment, is maybe you give Dalen Gales a look, as he's an underrated force on the offensive glass.
He is, and he's also one that started this season as a starter and kind of found his role coming off the bench and playing some critical minutes.
Yeah, an injury to Ian Johnson kind of dictated that had to be so, but he's done a great job off the bench nonetheless.
Good defense there by the one we're speaking of, Dalen Gales. Missed jumper there from Truett. Grimes, wow, the high-flying lay-in, good!
Man, a little smile from him there. I think he knows how cool that looks.
Almost as cool as those sneakers he's wearing.
Yeah. Even if he didn't do anything on the court, you probably look at him just because of the shoes.
Covington gets it to Ortega. 10 seconds on the shot clock, under 10 minutes left in the game. Morrow's going to foul Ortega on his way in, so that'll give Ortega 2 shots and a chance to tie up this ball game once again. Ortega glares at the back rim and rattles one home. Bostic going to check in for the freshman Trey Morrow.
And I would say this is the lineup that can keep Truett off the glass better than anybody. Roberts is a great box-out guy, and Bostic is one of the better 6'4" rebounders I've ever seen.
Makes both of them at the line. All knotted up, 58 all, 9:49 left in the game. Grimes taking the basketball up the court. Kind of spreading this offense out a little bit here. Roberts with the ball at the top of the key. Gets it to Grimes. Grimes steps back. The 20-foot shot, no good.
Oh.
I don't know what
caught it off the shot clock. I'm not too sure about that one.
Yeah, I don't know about that one either. It didn't look like it was off the shot clock from here. Of course,
we're not on the court.
They're a little bit closer than we are, but anyway, Ortega with the basketball. Truett trying to capture this lead back once again. Round goes up. Bostic. Wow, the block out of bounds. My goodness, he's had 3 blocks here in the second half alone.
Yeah, Bostic maybe not scoring as much as he normally does, but he's definitely making his presence felt elsewhere.
Ortega for 3, rebounded by Bostic. Grimes quickly up the court. Just over 9 minutes left. Grimes, the circus shot layup, no good. Ortega up the court, clearing out the offense. Wants a one-on-one with Grimes. Now gets it back out to Brown. Brown driving. Gets it to Frankie. Frankie, the high arcing shot, no good.
If you're Bryan, you're ecstatic when Frankie takes a 15-footer. That bails us out huge.
A 3-ball from Jamari Bostic, good. And that'll give the Lions a 3-point lead, 8.5 left. Covington swinging it around the perimeter. Rubio back into this game. He's a threat from behind the arc. Foul's going to be called on Caleb Grimes. Going to be a blocking foul.
I think you mentioned in the first half how clean of a game this has been, and it's holding true in the second half. Only 6 fouls called here with 8 minutes to go.
This is that time in the game where it seems to kind of amp up on the gritty level a little bit, and these teams are probably going to start committing a few more of those fouls. Gets it into Covington. Covington driving. Bostic, another block. Going to be off of Covington as well. Wow, what a defensive presence Jamari Bostic is.
Really showing you everything that he brings to the table tonight.
Roberts with the ball, hands it off to Johnson. Johnson going with the left hand. Out to Gales. Gales gets it to Roberts. Roberts for 3. Bang. Roberts for 3. Good! He's going to make the defense stay honest, as you mentioned earlier.
Yep.
He's got a really solid stroke.
That's what he brings. That's what he brings to the floor. He spaces it out. He tries like crazy. He rebounds the ball. He runs the offense through him. That's a great play right there.
Absolutely. The Lions take a 6-point lead. 7:32 remaining in the game. Stay tuned for more Bryan College basketball. We'll be back just shortly. We're back out of the timeout break. Truett-McConnell in the front court. 7:32 remaining. Truett trailing by 6. Bryan stormed back in the second half. Covington working down low on Johnson. Goes up, can't finish. Frankie tries to get the rebound and finish. He's going to fall short, and Roberts gets the board. Roberts top of the key. Working on Frankie, gets it to Bostic. Bostic to Johnson. Johnson working on Rubio. Steps back, the 3-ball. Good! Welcome to Splash Town, Ian Johnson.
Truett's coach was hounding Rubio to get over and make that steal. And you see why. Ian Johnson, a dangerous man with the ball in his hands.
9-point game. Frankie working on Roberts and gets the baby hook over him. It's hard to stop someone that outsizes you that much.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the concessions you make, but I think he still played pretty decent defense.
Oh, yeah. Dalen Gales goes up and finishes at the hoop. Good for 2.
It's been amazing to see Dalen's growth. That's one preseason that he probably goes in there out of control, but he composed himself well there and makes the finish.
I actually talked to Coach Rakoski not too long ago, and he said that is actually here on the interview after a game. He talked about how much Dalen Gales has impressed him in his growth as a freshman.
Yeah, you think of it as at freshman year. Maybe you follow the rotation second semester, but I mean Dalen Gales has made himself just half the play.
Gene Holmes commits the traveling violation, gives the ball back to the Bears of Truett-McConnell. Truett-McConnell comes into this game 12-14, 10-12 in conference. Bryan, on the other hand, 13-13 overall, 13-9 in conference, and a lot of teams are tied up there in the middle of the AAC. This is a big game here. Finish there from C.J. Brown.
And the Truett coach is obviously seeing something he likes. He's going right at Nick Roberts here.
Roberts with the ball, gets it to Gales. Off of the leg of Dalen Gales, out of bounds. A couple of really good defensive stops back-to-back for Truett.
Yeah, Bryan, I think, had a 9-point lead, and Truett stops that right in their tracks, gets 2 huge stops and 2 huge buckets.
Covington with the ball, gets it to Frankie. Down to Brown, top of the key. They'll be working through him right now on this possession. Getting it down low to Frankie. Frankie's going to throw it out of bounds. Good defense there from Roberts.
Roberts probably a little bit tired of getting pushed around, says, I'm just going to fall.
Trey Morrow checked into the game for Nick Roberts. Just over 5 minutes left, 69-64, Lions leading. Going all the way to the hoop is Holmes, and finishing is Holmes. Good. Extends the lead back to 7. Covington working off the screen. The 3-ball from Smith. Good. That's a big 3-ball, cuts the lead back to 4. Mulaski takes the screen. Mulaski driving. And a reaching foul going to be committed on a knock to Frankie.
Oh, man.
Morrow inbounding it. They get into Holmes, and Holmes finishes over the big man, C.J. Brown. Holmes has that ability.
He's really doing it all tonight. He's playing great defense. He's getting to the rim. What more could you ask for?
Long 3-ball from Smith, and he connects again. And I see the motion there from Coach Rakoski. We're going to have to extend the defense beyond the 3-point line.
Yeah, Smith, I think, has 3 triples thus far. Maybe not looked at as a shooter like that, but he's certainly bringing it tonight.
Johnson gets the 3-ball. He connects on one. Anything you can do, I can do better, says Johnson. A moving screen committed on C.J. Brown. Sends the ball the other way.
And with that 3-ball, Ian Johnson, he has got 24. I would say this play has to go to him if you're Coach Rakoski right now. Yeah,
he is shooting lights out, too. He is 10 for 12 from the field, 4 for 5 from three-point land.
We'll see if the prediction holds true here.
Bostic driving, hands it off to Johnson. Johnson back to Bostic, creates a lot of attention, and Bostic drills the 3-ball. Kelly now hands it off to Torre. Smith gets the screen from Brown. Good look in the corner to Kelly, no good. Rebound Mulaski. Mulaski throws it up, and the Lions retain possession. 9-point game, just under 3 minutes. Lions leading 79-70. Hand off to Mulaski. The backdoor cut from Ian Holmes. The finish from Ian Holmes. Good. What a beautiful play.
Man. Coach Rutkowski is fired up, and why shouldn't he be?
Fired up, absolutely. This was the final score of the last time these two teams met up. 81-70. 2.5 minutes left in this game, just over. Timeout on the floor. It's going to be a full timeout, and with that, we'll take a 60-second break ourselves. Stay tuned. We're back from the timeout break. Just over 2.5 minutes left in this game. 81-70. Lions leading by 11. Kelly with the basketball. Gets it to Ortega, and he throws it right to Nick Roberts. If he thought Frankie had position down there.
Yeah.
He certainly did not. Kelly steals it away from Gene Holmes. Finds Frankie. Frankie driving, Frankie finishing. Good. Cuts the lead to 9. Gene Holmes finds Mulaski. Slowing things down here. Long pass up to Bostic. Bostic goes up and throws one away. Tries to get it to Nick Roberts. Kelly going the other way. Finds Ortega. Ortega goes up and finishes at the bucket.
That's a quick 4 points for Truett-McConnell that they desperately needed.
As quick as they come. Mulaski with it, catches the screen. Poked away, out of bounds, off the hand of Frankie. And Coach Rutkowski's going to call a timeout and try to regroup his guys after the quick 4-0 run off the timeout. See whether it's going to be a full timeout. I think they're just going to do a 30-second timeout with that. We'll just stay here. We have 95 seconds left to determine the winner of this game. A 7-point game right now. Lions leading 81-74.
You know, Grayson, you've asked me a lot about what I think on this broadcast. What do you think the Lions have got to do to close out the game and really just get a good all-around win?
I think they have got to keep the pedal to the metal right now. I don't think they can play to Truett-McConnell's strength here and go too far into the shot clock. I think they just got to run through their offense like they have been all night. Finish this game strong. Johnson, wow, what a clutch bucket from 20 feet. Little tie-up down there between Ortega and Morrow. Going the other way. 9-point game once again. Long three from Kelly, and he drains one. The Bears of Truett-McConnell are doing everything possible to stay in this game. It's a 6-point game. 70 seconds remaining and a full timeout on the floor. So we're going to take a short break as well. Stay tuned for the finishing minute of this game. We're back here, 70 seconds left to determine the victor of this AAC matchup. Drew, with this amount of time left, do you go ahead and start fouling, or do you try to let the shot clock kind of play out?
Well, you got to look at it. 2-possession game, 6 points. I think you got to try to get a steal first, but I don't think you can let much more time than that tip off the clock.
Yeah, well, you have one foul to give before you get into the bonus. Lasky trying to get it in, this unconventional style of inbound to the basketball, and they're going to commit the foul early. I don't hate that either, because this is a really difficult spot to inbound the basketball too.
Yeah.
Right in front of the opposing team's bench.
Good foul. Truett-McConnell's coach he's kind of dictating the game right now.
The next foul will send Bryan into the 1-and-1. They get it into Holmes. Holmes to Johnson. Johnson about to get trapped. They get it back to Holmes, and Holmes is fouled. So with 1 minute and 2 seconds left, Holmes will go to the free throw line.
And I think that's by design. The Truett coach was pretty happy to let Ian dribble it out, but he definitely wanted the foul on Holmes, who is a worse free throw shooter than Johnson.
We got Frankie checked back into the game. Holmes has 18 points so far, 9 for 12 from the field. This is his first free throw of the game, however. It's up and good off the back rim.
And with that being said, I really do hope he proves me wrong here and knocks down both of these to give the Lions an 8-point edge.
We talked about how clean this game has been. That's only the 7th free throw for the Lions.
Yeah.
They've been perfect at the line so far. Second one is up and good as well. The Lions remain perfect at the line. 62 seconds left to determine a winner. 8-point game, Lions leading. Truett driving.
Great defense.
Poked out of bounds.
Oh.
I'm going to say it's off the hands of Ian Johnson.
The crowd as well as myself was not too thrilled with that one, but good defense nonetheless.
Kelly with the basketball. Driving middle. Into traffic. Out to Smith. They're going to have to get a shot off. They're going to call a foul on Ian Holmes, and that's absurd. My goodness, he threw his body into him.
Yeah. If there were a review at the NAI level, if I'm Coach Rutkowski, I'm probably calling for it.
The student section over there giving a little tribute to my infamous growl, some may say around here. Much appreciated.
It's your senior night too. They're just letting you know how much they appreciate you.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. First one is made there. He has 3. He has 2 left. Golly, that's huge. I mean, he can get this within a 5-point game. Misses the front rim. It's off the front rim. And the growl from the student section perhaps worked that time.
These are definitely big-time clutch free throws. Maybe some nerves from him.
A lane violation. Wow. And they're going to call that on Torrey. It's going to send it back to the paws of the Lions. And that almost in a way seals the deal. I mean, there's 45, a little over 45 and a half seconds left, but him only connecting on one of those free throws is tough.
And I mean, you won't go in the stat sheet, Grayson, or on the roster, but I think you can take credit for a little bit of this win at the end here.
I don't know. That may be too much, Drew. I appreciate it. I'm flattered up here. 7-point game, 85-78. Lions leading, 45 and a half seconds left to decide the victor of this matchup here. It's been a good one. The Lions have impressed offensively. They came out of the halftime struggling a bit offensively, but they've really turned things around, Drew.
They have, and I think with a team like Truett, a high-effort defense that denies the ball constantly, I mean, I think it's just going to happen. As the game goes on, players get tired, and maybe the players from Bryan are a little bit better rested than they are, and they've showed it here. I mean, great performance, second-half performances from Ian Johnson, Gene Holmes, probably even Jamari Bostic has looked a lot better here in the second half.
Yeah, if my numbers are right here, let's see, they are 9 for 21 from three-point land. They were shooting 10%, 1 for 10 coming into the halftime, and they've really improved that number. That's offensively definitely been an improvement.
I think if my math is right, that means they've only missed one in the second half.
Yeah. We're going to be pressing here, obviously. Trey Morrow going to inbound the basketball off the missed free throw on the timeout. Truett-McConnell not giving an inch here. Tipped away. Torrey gets the steal. But he loses a handle on it, and he's going to foul Gene Holmes. A lot of contact down there, a little extracurricular down there in the restricted area.
And he seems to have helped him up there, so I think there's no ill will, just a tough player going for the ball.
Guys being guys playing a tough sport. Man, what an opportunity there. Torrey got the steal on the inbound pass, and man, if they could have connected on a 2 or a 3 there, this still is a game. I mean, it's still over 40 seconds left.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, no one turned it off yet. I mean, it's still a game here.
Yeah, this might have gone down as the longest 4 seconds in history, but
that's a good point. Gene Holmes, first one good.
And Gene has really shut me up. I said it may be some strategy in fouling him, but he's 3 for 3 coming down on these late free throws.
He is 3 for 3. The Lions have connected on all of their free throws so far. 9 for 9. And 10 for 10 now after Gene Holmes connects on both of them.
Truett's really got to go here. You got to think that they got to get up a quick 3 and probably a timeout to set up the press once again. And wow.
Kelly throws it away there, saved, but into the hands of Nick Roberts. Roberts up to Johnson. Johnson dribbling around, playing a game of keep away. Now to Roberts, now to Bostic. Bostic up, and my goodness! The exclamation point!
Man, I think that puts a cap on what has been a statement win here for the Lions.
Smith for 3, rebounded by Ortega, finished by Ortega. 9-point game. And Truett-McConnell's going to lay off the press. And with that, the Lions are going to walk out of this one victorious on senior night. The Lady Lions and the Lions go 2-0. What a game from your Bryan College Lions. They came to play.
They did. I think that's a complete win. All you can ask for. They get the much-needed conference win. You get your guy in on senior night, and you have your seniors play really well. Caleb Grimes, Gene Holmes, and Noah played well on the defensive end as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All around a good victory for the Lions, and we'll kind of keep in touch what happens in the rest of the conference. This is a big first step for the Lions to maybe get that oh-so-coveted 2 seed that we talked about earlier. We're going to pause for the prayer, and we'll quickly break down this game before we close things out tonight. Drew, obviously the Lions win this one by 9, 89-80. What made the difference in this one?
Man, I think it's the all-around team effort. I don't know if you can point to one guy and say, man, he was it tonight. You had great performances from pretty much everybody that stepped foot on the floor. Even a guy like Nick Roberts came in, really gave his all. He faced down a much more intimidating adversary, and I think he came out on top.
Absolutely. The Lions impressed tonight. They shot an impressive 58% from the field compared to Truett's 49%. 42 from three-point land compared to Truett's 34%. Some individuals, you laid out a couple of them. Ian Johnson, 12 for 14 from the field, 28 points on the night, 4 for 5 from three-point land. He couldn't be stopped.
No, he couldn't, man. I mean, like I said earlier, Truett coach is begging for the deny and couldn't get it, and it's obvious why he was begging for it.
Absolutely, and thank you for tuning in wherever you're tuning in from. This was a great game. The Lions win this one 89-80. Stay tuned for this. We're going to go off air, but if you're watching courtside here, the Lady Lions are going to be cutting the net for their regular season championship. We mentioned that in our last broadcast. They have done a really good job this season, led by Coach Gabe Johnson, and they're going to commemorate that tonight by cutting the net. Wow, and I'm getting word from Drew Rogers that Point beat Tennessee Wesleyan tonight. So step 1 and step 2 are complete for Bryan to receive that coveted 2 seed. So now what needs to happen is Bryan needs to beat Milligan this Saturday, and Tennessee Wesleyan needs to lose to Reinhardt. And I'm telling you, Reinhardt's a good basketball team.
Tough team. We split with them. I think that's definitely a droppable game, and Milligan is for sure a winnable game. So.
Absolutely. We'll see what happens with that. Y'all stay tuned and kind of keep yourself updated. You can find all that information at BryanLions.com and stay up to date with all of that information. For Grayson Whaley and Drew Rogers, thank you for tuning in to Bryan College basketball tonight. God bless. Have a great night.